Hey, welcome back to our channel. My name is Louise and I'm here to talk to you about France a bit today. So I recently went back for the holidays, just for 10 days, kind of as a tourist this time. I feel like compared to last time I went back, which was 1 year ago, I rediscovered some aspect of France, and so I wanted to kind of update my last culture shock video with new things that I discovered this time I went back to France. Okay, so the first thing is when I got off the plane, you go through security, the airport, everything, I went to a cafe, whatever. Last time I went back to France, I remember clearly, I was like, oh my god, French people need to chill. Like, compared to Japan, they were not like smiling, they were like, okay, go, next, and I was kind of stressed. This time, maybe it was the Christmas spirit, I'm not sure. Everyone was smiling to me. Everyone was like, okay, this way. And I was like, what happened? Is there something in the air? Like, everyone was so nice. I went out in the streets of France and it was a lot more noisy, let's say. I mean, the streets of Japan people talk, obviously, but especially in the subway, everyone was chatting, everyone was on the phone. It's very normal in France. If you talk on the phone, no one's gonna be like, can you stop that, please? There's no announcement telling you to be quiet. And in the streets, going out of the subway, immediately you see at least 1 or 2 people casually walking, smoking their cigarettes. You also see a lot of places where you can throw away the cigarettes because they're trying to keep it cleaner now. I saw 3 or 4 people kissing on the streets. It's like something I never see in Japan. I was like, oh my god, that's France. We are back, I, this time, actually went to Paris. I mean that last time I went, but it was not really as a tourist, I walk around a little bit, whatever. This time I actually visited Paris. It was so nice. For lunch, I really wanted to go to a little brasserie, as we say, the little corner cafe. And so I went there. It really made me feel like the food culture is very different in Japan and in France. First of all, there's no pictures on the menu, so you just need to know what you're ordering. Otherwise, you're like, okay, no idea. It's written in English though, so it's kind of foreigner friendly. Another thing is the waiter, waitress, they will do small talk with you. They will joke around if you joke around. It's a very friendly atmosphere, and they will not talk to you in keigo. They will be polite, but kind of in a friendly, fun way. When I was younger, I was a bit more awkward. It made me but now I feel like I could appreciate it. So that was nice. Another point is in Japan, I feel like one of the very important thing in a restaurant, all of those things, is how fast they can serve you. And in France, that was not the case. Obviously, they try, but it's more of a chill experience. Sometimes you get a little glass of wine to wait, It will take more time for you to be served. And I remember I was like, did they forget us? Because I'm so used to Japan. So I was looking at my waiter and he saw me and he looked at me and was like, we did not forget you. I was like, okay, sorry. The food was great. I love Japanese food, but eating French food again made me realize how much I love it too, actually. One thing that I forgot and that now I will miss is the basket of bread they put on the table for free. And it was not a little bit of bread. You know how you buy bread in a restaurant in Japan, it's 2 pieces? We did not pay. It was literally for 4 people amount of bread. And I was like, I can never finish all of this, and I just kept eating. That's why you get 2 food in France, but oh well, just appreciate it. Even at home when I ate with my family, it's really more about taking your time, enjoying the food, talking a lot. It was very fun. I really enjoyed finding that vibe again for the food part of France, I would say. Another thing, actually, that I remember about the subway, so when I go to Paris, I stay at my uncle's place, which is a bit outside of Paris. It's like Saitama, basically. And you need to take a tramway to then take the subway. And to take this tramway, the only way to ride on it is to download the application, buy a ticket, a digital ticket, and then use that. And I was like, how do tourists do that? How do you know to do that? That's amazing. That was very fast, but weird. Still in Paris now, you can buy tickets but they're really pushing you to use the phone. There's lines where you can only use the phone and no one uses them. Be aware, if you go to Paris, maybe try downloading the app and like taking tickets on your phone. You're gonna save time, I guess. Going to France actually made me realize how French I am in a way and how not French I became. Okay, I have this leather trench coat. It's super long, and like when I wear it in Japan, I always feel like, is it too much sometimes, but like I like it, I wear it. In France, not one, not two, about 5 different people were wearing the exact same coat, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just French, maybe that's what it is. Of course, it's very simple and elegant, but there's always this punchy piece, kind of like leather coat or like fur coat. So I guess I'm French after all. I feel like in Japan, people try to keep it more casual, even though it's more colorful in Japan. I feel like more light colors, especially for women. They would play with the colors, not the texture, I would say, and keep it still subdued in a way. I mean, of course, if you go to Harajuku, like people have fun, but you know what I mean. However, how I felt like I'm not French anymore in a way is, first of all, I forgot some French and I was very embarrassed. Store clerk was like, hey, do you want to pay like with card? And I wanted to say no, like I want to pay with cash or genkin. I couldn't even think of the word in French. I was like, how do I say cash? And I was like, literally I said, how do I say cash? And I felt so stupid. I was like, oh my god, my French is terrible. Yeah, again, with communication, I feel like I took some habits in Japan. Like when you want to ask a question, you say sumimasen. That would be like excusez-moi in French. And I tend to say that first. I was like, excusez-moi. And if you guys know, you know, because I've talked about this before, but you should not start with excusez-moi in French. You should start with bonjour. And I always forgot this. And I said, excusez-moi, and they look at me and they're like, bonjour. And I'm like, ah, bonjour. Every time was as awkward as it was, but it's okay. I learned, I got better through the days I was in Paris. Those little things that you changed and you're not used to anymore. Also for me, it felt kind of weird to speak at a normal level, like voice level in the train and stuff like that, because I'm so used to like the quiet atmosphere. So every time I go, I find something that I'm like, oh, I changed actually. Living in Japan for 6 years makes sense, right? But it's always fun to discover those. So yeah, that was kind of my updated culture shock stuff I noticed in France. I'm really curious if some of you have been to France recently. Is there anything you've noticed? Anything new? Did you think people were nicer if you went during Christmas? And yeah, let me know in the comments. I would love to see that. If you enjoyed the video, please let us know by leaving a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, to ring the bell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Au revoir! I took what did I take? The tram? Metro? What is it called? Subway.
Everything means the same, I think, anyway.
Anyway.